All right, Shalom Yasharala. First off, I'm going to give all praise to Yahweh Bashimi Hawashai, Waharakak Wadash. And this lesson is going to be on the value of wisdom and choosing a woman. So, first, I'm going to start off with Job 28 in verse 2. Or in verse 12, I mean. And it says, "But where shall wisdom be found? And where is the place of understanding? Man knoweth not the price thereof, neither is it found in the land of the living." So, first, man knows not the price of wisdom. Like, you can't put a price tag on wisdom. Neither is it found in the land of the living. Neither can you search it out and like find it, while fishing or something like that. The depth saith, "It is not in me." The sea saith, "It is not with me." It cannot be gotten for gold, neither shall silver be weighed for the price thereof. It cannot be valued with the gold of Ophir, with the precious onyx or the sapphire, and gold and crystal cannot equal it. And the exchange of it shall not be for jewels of fine gold. Like first, wisdom can't be given for any substance. Because first of all, it made all things. So, it that's like if an artist made like some type of jewelry, and I'm gonna try to buy them as a slave with their own jewelry. It just doesn't make any sense. So how do you receive wisdom? Through the Lord. The Lord is the only way to receive wisdom, because wisdom comes from Him. Let me continue. This is verse 15. "It cannot be gotten for gold, neither shall silver be weighed for the price thereof. It cannot be valued with the gold of Ophir, with the precious onyx or the sapphire. The gold and the crystal cannot equal it, and the exchange of it should not be for jewels or and the exchange of it shall not be for jewels of fine gold. No mention shall be made of coral or of pearls, for the price of wisdom is above rubies. The topaz of Ethiopia shall not equal it, neither shall it be valued with pure gold. Whence then cometh wisdom, and where is the place of understanding? Seeing it is hid from the eyes of all living, and kept close from the fowls of the air," or kept close from the fowls of the air. "Destruction and death say, We have heard the fame thereof with our ears. Yahweh understandeth the way thereof, and He knoweth the place thereof. For He looketh to the ends of the earth, and seeth under the whole heaven, to make the weight for the winds, and He weigheth the waters by measure." "When He made a decree for the rain, and a way for the lightning of the thunder, then did He see it and declare it. He prepared it, yea, and searched it out." So where is wisdom? What is wisdom? "And unto man He said, Behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding." That's self-explanatory. Wisdom is invaluable. It has no price tag that you can put on it. And wisdom cannot be found by carnal means. The only thing that is wisdom is to fear the Lord and to depart from sin. Let's see, this is going to be Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiasticus chapter 1. Ecclesiasticus chapter 1 and 1. "All wisdom cometh from the Lord, and is with Him forever. Who can number the sand of the sea, and the drops of rain in the days of eternity? Who can find out the height of heaven, and the breadth of the earth, and the deep in wisdom? Wisdom hath been created before all things, and the understanding of prudence from everlasting. The word of Yahweh Most High is the fountain of wisdom, and her ways are everlasting commandments." So who's the word of the Most High? Yahweh Shai is the word. Like the Heavenly Father begot Yahweh Shai as His only begotten Son, and Yahweh Shai created all other things. So Yahweh Shai is the embodiment of wisdom, and how everything else was, measured out, brought about, created. Verse 6. "To whom hath the root of wisdom been revealed? Or who hath known her wise counsels? Unto whom hath the knowledge of wisdom been made manifest? And who hath understood her great experience? There is one wise and greatly to be feared, that is Yahweh sitting upon His throne." The Lord sitting upon His throne. "He created her, and saw her, and numbered her, and poured her out upon all His works. She is with all flesh according to His gift, and He hath given her to them that love Him. The fear of the Lord is honor and glory and gladness and a crown of rejoicing. The fear of the Lord maketh a merry heart, and giveth joy and gladness in a long life. Whoso feareth Yahweh, it shall go well with him at the last, and he shall find favor in the day of his death. To fear the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and it was created with the faithful in the womb. To fear the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and it was created with the faithful in the womb. So that's saying that wisdom that has been given unto man is predetermined in the heavens. Because obviously, like, you know, the Most High didn't craft the fear of the Lord with your flesh. The Most High has, like, given you the spirit to fear him. She hath built an everlasting foundation with men, and she shall continue with their seed. To fear Yahweh is fullness of wisdom. To fear Yahweh is fullness of wisdom, and filleth man with her fruits. She filleth all their house with things desirable, and the garners with her increase. The fear of Yahweh is a crown of wisdom, and maketh peace and perfect health to flourish, both which are the gifts of the Most High, and it enlargeth their rejoicing that love him. So really, what brings forth wisdom is humbling yourself to the power of the Most High and acknowledging him as the highest power. You know, and like, I think it's Proverbs, the 3rd chapter, where it says, Proverbs 3:5, it says, trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thy own eyes, fear the Lord, and depart from evil. So by trusting in the Lord, that gives you wisdom. By like bowing to his will, that gives you wisdom. And acknowledging him in all your ways, he will direct you to where he wants you to go, not to where you want to go. So this is about to be Proverbs 28, not Proverbs, Job 28 again. And it reads, Job 28 and 28. And it says, and unto man he said, behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding. So it says right here, in verse 7, Proverbs 3:7, be not wise in thy own eyes, fear the Lord, and depart from evil. Okay, so this is verse 19, Ecclesiasticus 1:19. Wisdom reigneth down skill and knowledge of understanding, and exalted them to honor that hold her fast. The root of wisdom is to fear the Lord, and the branches thereof are long life. So if you know anything about a tree, where the root is where, like, you know, that's the foundation of all fruits, you know, that come from that tree. Verse 21. The fear of Yahweh driveth away sins, and where it is present, it turneth away wrath. A furious man cannot be justified, for the sway of his fear shall be his destruction. A patient man will bear for a time, and afterward joy shall spring up unto him. He will hide his words for a time, and the lips of many shall declare his wisdom. The parables of knowledge are in the treasures of wisdom, but godliness is an abomination to a sinner. If thou desire wisdom, keep the commandments, and Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai shall give her unto thee. If thou desire wisdom, keep the commandments, and Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai shall give her unto thee. Let me get Psalms 111 and verse 10. And it reads, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever. Okay, so let me continue. This is verse 27. For the fear of Yahweh is wisdom and instruction, and faith and meekness are his delight. So to fear the Most High gives you wisdom and instruction, and he loves faith and meekness. Like, I think there's a precept in the same chapter where it says, okay, I'm going to find that at a later point. It says, distrust not the fear of the Lord when thou art poor, and come not unto him with a double heart. Be not an hypocrite in the sight of men, and take good heed what thou speakest. Exalt not thyself, lest thou fall, and bring dishonor upon thy soul. And so Yahweh will discover thy secrets, and cast thee down in the midst of the congregation, because thou camest not in truth to the fear of the Lord, but thy heart is full of deceit. You know, trust in the Most High with all thy heart, and lean not on thy own understanding. Okay, so from there, I want to go to Daniel 2:21. Daniel 2:21. Baba Kashaya Waba Shema Mashiach Yahweh Shaman. Daniel 2 and verse 21. And it reads, Daniel 2 and 20. Daniel answered and said, Blessed be the name of Yahweh forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his. And he changeth the times and the seasons, and removeth kings and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise, and knowledge to them that know understanding. He revealeth the deep and secret things. He knoweth what is in the darkness, and the light dwelleth with him. I thank thee and praise thee, O Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai of my fathers, who hast given me wisdom and might, and hast made known unto me now that we desired of thee. For thou hast now made known unto us the king's matter. First Kings. I'm gonna go to First Kings. First Kings 4 and verse let me go to chapter 3 first. This is 1 Kings 3 and 5. I'm sorry, 3 and 4. And the king went to Gibeon to sacrifice there, for that was the great high place. 1,000 burnt offerings did Solomon offer up on that altar. And Gibeon Yahweh appeared to Solomon in a dream by night, and Yahweh said, Ask what I shall give thee. And Solomon said, Thou hast shown unto thy servant David, my father, great mercy, according as he walked before thee in truth, and in righteousness, and in uprightness of heart with thee. And thou hast kept for him this great kindness, that thou hast given him a son to sit on his throne, as it is this day. And now, O Yahweh, my father, O my power, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David, my father. And I am but a little child, I know not how to go out or to come in. And thy servant is in the midst of thy people which thou hast chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad, for who is able to judge this thy so great a people? And the speech pleased Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, the Lord, that Solomon had asked this thing. And Yahweh said unto him, Because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast asked riches for thyself, nor hast asked the life of thy enemies, but hast asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to thy word. Lo, I have given thee a wise and an understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. And I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, that there shall not be any among the kings like unto thee all thy days. Okay. So, through prayer, Solomon acquired wisdom. Now I need, let me see, I need to go right back there. Why would I throw that away? Okay, so this 1 Kings, again, chapter 4 and verse 29. And the Most High gave Solomon wisdom and understanding exceeding much, and largeness of heart, even as the sand that is on the seashore. And Solomon's wisdom excelled the wisdom of all the children of the east country, and all the wisdom of Egypt, for he was wiser than all men, than Ethan the Ezrahite, and Heman, and Calcol, and Darda, and the sons of Mahol. And his fame was in all nations round about, and he spoke 3,000 proverbs, and his songs were 1,005. He spoke of trees from the cedar tree that is in Lebanon, even unto the hyssop that springeth out of the wall. He spoke also of beasts and of fowl, and of creeping things, and of fishes, and they came of all people to hear the wisdom of Solomon, from all kings of the earth which had heard his wisdom. So from there, I want to go to, I'm thinking I want to get Romans the 11th chapter. Romans 11 and verse 33. Oh, the depth of the riches, both of the wisdom and knowledge of the Most High! How unsearchable are his judgments, and his ways past finding out! For who hath known the mind of Yahweh, or who hath been his counselor, or who hath first given to him, and it shall be recompensed unto him again. For of him, and through him, and to him are all things, and to whom be glory forever. Amen. By Hashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Okay, so from there I'm going to go to 1 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 14. I'm going to start with verse 12. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit which is of the Most High, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of the Most High, which things also we speak, not in the words which a man's wisdom teacheth, but which the Holy Spirit teacheth, comparing spiritual things with spiritual. But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of the Most High, for they are foolishness unto him. Neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. But he that is spiritual judgeth all things, yet he himself is judge of no man. For who hath known the mind of the Lord that he may instruct him? But we have the mind of Hamashiach. So, you got to be in the spirit to have wisdom, to understand these scriptures. You know, a carnal man would never comprehend like the dark sayings and all that, and the parables. So from there, I'm gonna go to Judith, chapter 8. Judith chapter 8 and verse 14, and it reads, for you cannot, I'm going to start with verse 12. And now who are you that ye have tempted the Most High this day, and stand in the stead of Yahweh amongst the children of men? And now try the Lord Almighty, but ye shall never know anything. For you cannot find the depth of the heart of man, neither can you perceive the things that he thinketh. Then how can you search out the Most High that hath made all these things, and know his mind, or comprehend his purpose? Nay, my brethren, provoke not the Lord our power to anger. So you can't comprehend how the Lord created anything. So how can you comprehend the Creator? All you have to do is understand, which means to really stand under his will and his power. Humble yourself to his will. Okay, so from there, I want to go to, I think I'm going to go to Sirach chapter 23. I'm going to go to 19 first. Sirach 19 and verse 18. Sirach 19 and 18. The fear of Yahweh is the first step to be accepted of him, and wisdom obtaineth his love. The knowledge of the commandments of Yahweh is the doctrine of life. The fear of Yahweh is the first step to be accepted of him, and wisdom obtaineth his love. The knowledge of the commandments of Yahweh is the doctrine of life, and they that do the things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality. The fear of Yahweh is all wisdom, and in all wisdom is the performance of the law, and the knowledge of his omnipotency. Exactly. So, like what it's saying right here, I'm reading that one more time. The fear of the Lord is all wisdom, and in all wisdom is the performance of the law, and the knowledge of his omnipotency. So really, wisdom is a single-mindedness on the Most High. So like, because wisdom doesn't come from anything else but the Lord. So to have your mind single pointed on him is all wisdom. And I mean, if you have a true understanding of the Lord, you're gonna fear him. Okay, so from there I'm gonna go to I wanna go back to Job. Job 28 and 18. No mention shall be made of coral or pearls, for the price of wisdom is above rubies. So from there, I'm going to go to Proverbs. Proverbs 31 and verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She would do him good and not evil all the days of her life. So Who can find a virtuous woman, for her price is far above rubies? The heart of her husband does safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. Over there, I'm going to go to Genesis, the 2nd chapter. Genesis chapter 2. And it reads, Genesis 2 and 18. And it says, And the Lord Yahweh said, It is not good that man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him. And out of the ground the Lord Yahweh formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. And Adam gave names to all cattle, and to the fowls of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found a helpmeet for him. And Yahweh Bashim Yahushua caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs, and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Lord Yahweh had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh, and she shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Okay, so Job says wisdom's price is far above rubies, and then Solomon says, who can find a virtuous woman, because her price is far above rubies. So really, like, I feel like in the spirit that's telling you that your woman really is wisdom, you know. And if you're gonna find a woman, your woman should really be a reflection of wisdom. You know, I'm talking about like your actual, you know, woman that you lay down and have children with. Because this is verse 24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. So from there, I'm going to go to Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon. I think it might either... One second. Okay, so this is Wisdom of Solomon 8:1. Wisdom reacheth from one end to another mightily, and sweetly does she order all things. I loved her and saw her out. From my youth I desired to make her my spouse. And I was a lover of her beauty, and that she is conversing with the Most High, she magnified her nobility. Yea, the Lord of all things himself loved her, for she is privy to the mysteries of the knowledge of the Most High, and a lover of his works. If riches be a possession to be desired in this life, what is richer than wisdom that worketh all things? So that's why Job was talking about nothing. Rubies, the topaz of Ethiopia, fine gold, silver, anything that you can think of is not in any comparison to wisdom. It says, what is richer than wisdom that worketh all things? And if prudence work, who of all that are is more cunning, a more cunning workman than she? And if a man love righteousness, her labors are virtues, for she teacheth temperance and prudence, justice and fortitude, which are such things as men can have nothing more profitable in their life. If a man desire much experience, she knoweth things of old, and conjectureth the right which is to come. She knoweth the subtleties of speech, and can expound dark sentences. She foreseeth signs and wonders in the events of seasons and times. Verse 9. Therefore I purpose to take her to me, to live with me, knowing that she would be a counselor of good things, and comforting cares and grief. Somewhere it says, like your woman is supposed to be like your pillar of rest. I think it says like that's probably in Sirach. Let me find that. Let me see. It should be Sirach. It might be Proverbs. So let me see. I'm just gonna continue because I could read that though. I'm gonna read that, but we're gonna read it. This is Ecclesiastes 26:13. The grace of a wife delighteth her husband, and her discretion will fat his bones. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. A shamefast and faithful woman is a double grace, and her continent mind cannot be valued. As the sun when it ariseth in the high heaven, so is the beauty of a good wife and the ordering of her house. As clear light is upon the holy candlestick, so is the beauty of her face, or of the face in ripe age. As the golden pillars are upon sockets of silver, so are the fair feet with a constant heart. So, let me grab Ecclesiastes, the 23rd chapter, and I'm going to continue in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 8, in verse 9. It says, Therefore I purpose to take her to me to live with me, knowing that she will be a counselor of good things and a comfort in cares and grief. For her sake I shall have estimation among the multitude and honor with the elders. Though I be young, I shall be found of a quick conceit and judgment, and shall be admired in the sight of great men. When I hold my tongue, they shall bide my leisure, and when I speak, they shall give good ear unto me. If I talk much, they shall lay their hands upon their mouth. Moreover, by means of her I shall obtain immortality, and leave behind me an everlasting memorial to them that come after her, or after me, Slakia. I shall set the people in order, and the nations shall be subject unto me. Horrible tyrants shall be afraid when they do but hear of me. I shall be found good among the multitude and valiant in war. After I am come into my house, I will repose myself with her, for her conversation hath no bitterness, and to live with her hath no sorrow, but mirth and joy. Okay, I'm going to keep reading. Now when I consider these things in myself, I ponder them in my heart. How to be allied unto wisdom is immortality. So wisdom is your helpmeet. Wisdom is going to help you through all things. And the great pleasure it is to have her friendship, and the works of her hands are infinite riches, in the exercise of conference with her prudence. And in talking with her a good report, I went about seeking how to take her to me. For I was a witty child and had a good spirit, yet rather being good, I came into a body undefiled. Nevertheless, when I perceived that I could not otherwise obtain her except the Most High gave her me, and that was the point of wisdom, also to know whose gift she was, I prayed unto Yahweh and besought him with my whole heart, I said. So, you got to seek to the Most High for wisdom. I think it's there's a precept where it says the Most High, like he gives his wisdom liberally and upbraideth not. Paraphrasing. I don't know where that's at. Wisdom of Solomon 9:1. O power of my fathers and Lord of mercy, who has made all things with thy word, and ordained man through thy wisdom, that he should have dominion over the creatures which thou hast made, and order the world according to equity and righteousness, and execute judgment with an upright heart. Give me wisdom that sitteth by thy throne, and reject me not from among thy children. For I, thy servant and son of thy handmaid, am a feeble person, and of a short time, and too young for the understanding of judgment and laws. For though a man be never so perfect among the children of men, yet if thy wisdom be not with him, he shall be nothing regarded. Thou hast chosen me to be the king of thy people, and to judge of thy sons and daughters. Thou hast commanded me to build a temple upon thy holy mount, and an altar in the city wherein thou dwellest, a resemblance of the holy tabernacle which thou hast prepared from the beginning, and wisdom was with thee, which knoweth thy works, and was present when thou madest the world, and knew what was acceptable in thy sight, and right in thy commandments. O send her out of thy holy heavens, and from the throne of thy glory, that being present she may labor with me. That I may know what is pleasing unto thee. So, wisdom is what, aided David, Solomon, Adam, all to, do, the mighty work they did in the name of the Most High. So, from there, I'm going to start with verse 11. For she knoweth and understandeth all things, and she shall lead me soberly in my doings, and preserve me in her power. So shall my works be acceptable, and then shall I judge thy people righteously, and be worthy to sit in my father's seat. So, through wisdom, you'll be established. I could read Ecclesiastes 23. I think I am going to read that, to be honest. Okay. Ecclesiastes 23, and I'm going to end it out there, Lord willing. Or I might need 24. Yeah, I need 24. So this is Sirach 24. And it says, wisdom shall praise herself, and shall glory in the midst of her people. In the congregation of the Most High shall she open her mouth, and triumph before his power. I came out of the mouth of the Most High, and covered the cloud, or covered the earth as a cloud. I dwelt in high places, and my throne is in a cloudy pillar. I alone compassed the circuit of heaven, and walked in the bottom of the deep, and in the waves of the sea, and in all the earth, and in every people and nation I got a possession. With all these I sought rest, and in whose inheritance shall I abide? So the Creator of all things gave me a commandment, and he that made me caused my tabernacle to rest, and said, let thy dwelling be in Jacob, and thy inheritance in Israel. So let me go to Baruch real quick. I'm going to go right back to that. Baruch. Okay, this is this is what I was looking for earlier. This is Baruch 3:29. It reads, who have gone up into heaven and taken her, and brought her down from the clouds, who have gone over the sea and found her, and will bring her for pure gold. No man knoweth her way, nor thinketh of her path, but he that knoweth all things knoweth her. And I found her out with his wisdom, I found her out with his understanding. Slakia. He that prepared the earth for evermore hath filled it with four-footed beasts. He that sendeth forth light, and it goeth, calleth it again, and it obeyeth him with fear. The stars shone in their watches and rejoice. When he called them, they say, here we be. And so with cheerfulness they show light unto him that made them. This is our power, and there shall no other be accounted of in comparison of him. He hath found out all the way of knowledge, and hath given it unto Jacob his servant, and to Israel his beloved. Afterward did he show himself upon earth, and converse with man. Speaking of Yahweh Shai. So I'm going to go back to Ecclesiastes, the 24th chapter. And it says, right here, 24:8. So the Creator of all things gave me a commandment, and he that made me caused my tabernacle to rest, and said, let thy dwelling be in Jacob, and thy inheritance in Israel. He created me from the beginning before the world, and I shall never fail. In the holy tabernacle I served before him, and so was I established in Zion. Likewise, in the beloved city he gave me rest, and in Jerusalem was my power. I took root in an honorable people, even in the portion of the Lord's inheritance. This is a good chapter. This is a really good chapter. Verse 13. I was exalted like a cedar in Libanus, and as a cypress tree upon the mountains of Hermon. I was exalted like a palm tree in Engadi, and as a rose plant in Jericho, as a fair olive tree in a pleasant field, and grew up as a plane tree by the water. I gave a sweet smell like cinnamon and aspalathus, and I yielded a pleasant odor like the best myrrh, as galbanum and onyx and sweet storax, and as the fume of frankincense in the tabernacle. And as the turpentine tree, I stretched out my branches, and my branches are the branches of honor and grace. As the vine brought I forth pleasant savor, and my flowers are the fruit of honor and riches. It says, I am the mother of fair love and fear and knowledge and holy hope. I therefore, being eternal, am given to all my children which are named of him. Come unto me, all ye that be desirous of me, and fill yourselves with my fruits. For my memorial is sweeter than honey, and my inheritance than the honeycomb. They that eat me shall yet be hungry, and they that drink me shall yet be thirsty. He that obeyeth me shall never be confounded, and they that work by me shall not do amiss. All these things are the book of the covenant of the Most High Yahweh, even the law which Moses commanded for a heritage unto the congregations of Jacob. Faint not to be strong in Yahweh, that he may confirm you. Cleave unto him, for the Lord Almighty is power alone. Besides him there is no other Savior. He filleth all things with his wisdom, as Phison and as Tigris in the time of the new fruits. He maketh the understanding to abound like Euphrates, and as Jordan in the time of the harvest. He maketh the understanding to abound like Euphrates, and as Jordan in the time of the harvest. He maketh the doctrine of knowledge appear as the light, and as Gion in the time of vintage. The first man knew her not perfectly, no more shall the last find her out. For her thoughts are more than the sea, and her counsels profounder than the great deep. I also came out as a brook from a river, and as a conduit into a garden. I said, I will water my best garden, I will water abundantly my garden bed, and lo, my brook became a river, and my river became a sea. That sounds like Ezekiel the 47th chapter. And I will yet make doctrine to shine as the morning, and I will send forth her light afar off. and I will yet pour out doctrine as prophecy, and leave it to all ages forever. Behold, that I have not labored for myself alone, or myself only, but for all them that seek wisdom. The Wadi Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And from there, I'm gonna stop it off at I'm gonna end it on Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7. Seven and 15, I think. 7 and 14. For she is a treasure unto a man that never faileth, which they that use become the friends of the Most High. Being commanded for the gifts that come from learning, Yahweh have granted me to speak as I would, and to conceive as is meet for the things that are given me. Because it is he that leadeth unto wisdom, and directeth the wise. For in his hand are both we, and our words, and all wisdom also, and knowledge of workmanship. For he hath given me certain knowledge of the things that are For he hath given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely to know how the world was made, and the operation of the elements in the beginning, ending, and midst of the times, the alterations of the turning of the sun, and the change of seasons, the circuits of years, and the position of stars, the natures of living creatures, and the fears of wild beasts, the violence of winds, and the reasons of men, and diversities of plants, and virtues of roots, and all such things as are either secret or manifest, them I know. For wisdom, which is the worker of all things, taught me, for in her is an understanding spirit, holy, one only, manifold, subtle, lively, clear, undefiled, plain, not subtle to hurt, loving the thing that is good, quick, which cannot be letted, ready to do good. Slacky. Kind to man, steadfast, sure, free from care, having all power, overseeing all things, and going through all understanding, pure and most subtle spirits. For wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness. For she is the breath and the power of the Most High, and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore can no defiled thing fall into her, for she is the brightness of the everlasting light, the unspotted mirror of the power of the Most High, and the image of his goodness. And being but one, she can do all things, and remaining in herself, she maketh all things new, and in all ages entered into holy souls, and she maketh them friends of the Most High and prophets. For Yahweh loveth none but him that dwelleth with wisdom. For she is more beautiful than the sun, and above all the order of stars. Being compared with the light, she is found before it. For after this cometh night, but vice shall not prevail against wisdom. And with that, I'm going to say Shalom, call her Liam, like Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Yahweh Shai.